Hey man, you ever sat across from her mid-conversation and felt that shift? That invisible pulse in the air where her voice gets softer, her eyes linger just a second longer, and her words start to sound a little too carefully chosen? That moment when the conversation stops being about the surface and starts sliding into something electric. Most men miss it. They think it's just her being nice, or playful, or friendly. But what she's doing is dropping signals, testing, playing her hand without revealing her cards. And if you're not tuned into the frequency, you'll smile, nod, and let the moment pass. But the man who knows, the man who's aware, he catches it. Because before she gives you her body, she always gives you language. And that language is never direct, but it's loud if you're listening. See, women don't initiate intimacy the way men do. They don't blurt out their intentions. They suggest. They hint. They drop emotional breadcrumbs to see if you can follow the trail. Before she sleeps with you, she wants to feel like you knew it was coming, but didn't rush it. Like you read the signs, not with desperation, but with masculine calm. So she gives you these lines, subtle, calculated, emotionally loaded phrases that are designed to trigger your awareness without sacrificing her dignity. These aren't pickup lines. These are permission slips, hidden inside everyday language. And when you hear them, you need to slow down, lock in, and read between the letters, because she's not just talking, she's inviting you into her world. One of the most common lines, I've never told anyone this before. It sounds harmless. It sounds like she's just being open, but what she's really doing is handing you emotional intimacy. She's testing whether you'll hold it gently or fumble it with ego. And if you pass the test, if you listen without trying to fix, judge, or hijack the moment, you just unlocked a deeper level of trust. And trust, my brother, is the gatekeeper to her desire, because a woman doesn't give herself to a man she can't feel safe with. And when she says this line, she's watching how your energy reacts, not your words, your stillness. Can you be present? Can you handle her truth? If yes, she'll start seeing you as the one who gets access to her vulnerability, her body, and her fire. Then there's the infamous, I don't usually do this. You hear that one? Don't laugh it off. Don't call her bluff. Listen deeper. What she's telling you isn't just that she's about to cross a boundary. She's telling you you've made her feel something unusual, something stronger, something outside her usual pattern. And that's gold. That's the moment where she's no longer in control of the script, where her emotions have begun to override her rules. And now you're not just a guy, you're the exception. That line is loaded with emotional tension. Treat it with reverence. Don't mock it. Don't dissect it. Just lean back, stay grounded, and let her move closer, because she just gave you the green light in disguise. Another one you'll hear, you're different. Now, every guy wants to believe he's different, but the man she actually says this to, he's not just acting different, he feels different. His energy, his pace, his presence, it doesn't fit the pattern of every other guy she's dealt with. So when she says this line, what she's really doing is giving herself permission to desire you, because now it's not about sleeping with another guy. It's about exploring something that feels new, exciting, and emotionally rich. You're no longer part of the blur. You're the one who made her stop scrolling, stop doubting, stop playing. And when a woman starts believing that you're different, she starts justifying intimacy to herself. She starts building the story that lets her give you everything. Here's a dangerous one, because most men miss it. I feel so safe with you. Sounds sweet, right? Like a compliment? Nah, that's a signal. That's a moment of deep, unconscious arousal. Because feminine energy doesn't open to excitement, it opens to safety. And when a woman tells you she feels safe, she's not just saying you make her feel comfortable, she's saying her nervous system trusts you. Her body, her mind, her emotions, they're starting to synchronize around you. That's sacred. And if you honor that space, if you don't rush it, don't joke it off, don't break the frame, you'll find her leaning in closer than ever before. Because the moment she feels emotionally safe, she starts craving physical closeness. There's another line, low-key but powerful. I don't know why I'm telling you this. That's when you know you've tapped into her deeper layers. That's when her subconscious starts bubbling up and her filters start fading. She's not in control anymore, you are. Not in a forceful way, but in an energetic way. Your calm, your grounded attention, your non-reactivity, it's made her feel seen in a way she hasn't felt in years. And that line is her way of surrendering, without saying, I surrender. That's when she wants to be touched, not with hands first, but with presence. And if you hold that moment, she'll start imagining what it would feel like to let go around you completely. And once her imagination starts, her body always follows. You just get me? Oh man, this one's heavy. Because this is when the walls start crumbling. She's not saying you understand every detail of her life. She's saying your energy resonates with hers. That your masculine frequency is aligning with her feminine vulnerability. And when she drops this line, she's subconsciously inviting connection. She's tired of being misunderstood, misread, and your vibe, your presence, your emotional intelligence, you've slipped past all her defenses. She feels like you're not trying to impress her, you're just being. And that being becomes her addiction. And when that addiction takes root, intimacy becomes inevitable. Then there's the classic, what are we doing? Most men hear this and panic. They think she's demanding a label, but what she's really doing is testing your frame. She wants to know if you're leading this or waiting for her to lead. This isn't about commitment, it's about direction. She wants to feel like there's a deeper energy underneath what's happening between you, something she can surrender to, something that makes sense. So when she drops this line, you don't flinch, you don't rush into promises. You simply hold her gaze, speak from your grounded truth, and show her that you know exactly what you're building. That's when she drops the resistance. That's when her emotional guard dissolves. And from there, it's only a matter of time. And then there's the quietest one, the most dangerous line of all. I probably shouldn't say this, because what comes next is usually her deepest desire, wrapped in hesitation. This is when her conditioning fights her craving, when her mind tells her no, but her body is already yes. And the man who hears this, who slows down and feels what she's saying, even if she doesn't say it clearly, that man becomes the one she obsesses over. Because now, you're not just someone she likes, you're someone she can't hide from. Her emotions have exposed her, her fantasy has leaked out, and she knows you saw it. But if you don't react, don't pressure, don't gloat, and just hold the frame, she'll move closer and closer, until she finally acts on what her mouth tried to deny. You have to understand something deeply masculine here. These lines are not always conscious. She's not always trying to seduce you. Sometimes, these words fall from her lips like they were whispered to her by her own vulnerability. That's why they matter, because in that moment, you're not just the man she's dating, texting, or talking to. You're the mirror reflecting her own unspoken desires back to her. And the real ones, the men who get it, they don't respond with lust. They respond with awareness. They understand that true seduction doesn't begin in the bedroom. It begins in how safe a woman feels to unravel without fear of being judged or used. Another phrase you'll hear is, I feel like I've known you forever. This one sounds like a romantic cliche, but if you know the game beneath the words, it means she's beginning to let go of her timeline. She's starting to lose track of how long she's known you, because the connection feels beyond time. That's when a woman starts justifying big decisions, physical ones, emotional ones, based not on logic, but on this overwhelming sense of chemistry and rightness. It's not about how many dates you've had, it's about how you make her feel in your presence. When she says this, it's her subconscious admitting, this feels real, even if I can't explain it. And that's when doors start opening. There's another one, your trouble. This is her playful way of signaling attraction. But listen to me, behind that smile is a battlefield of tension. Because when a woman says this, she knows she's close to stepping past her own boundaries. She knows that something about your presence is dangerous to her emotional control. She's warning herself, not you. And if you hear this and try to reassure her, you lose the frame. But if you smirk, stay calm, and let that moment hang in the air like smoke in a dim-lit bar, you own the frame. Because she's admitting you've got something she's scared of and yet completely drawn to. That's the line between attraction and obsession. Don't overlook the line, I don't know what it is about you. That right there, that's the magic. That's when logic leaves the room. That's when you stop being a checklist and start being an energy. When she can't explain why she wants to be around you, touch you, listen to you, it's because you've bypassed her rational mind and touched something raw. And the beauty of it, you didn't try, you didn't perform, you didn't push, you existed in truth. And she picked up on it, because real masculine energy doesn't need to shout, it's felt. And when she feels it, her body responds, her emotions soften, her guard starts melting, and the next move, it's always hers, but it's already been decided. You make me feel like I can be myself. This is one of the rarest and most powerful lines she'll ever drop. When she says this, she's not complimenting your personality, she's surrendering. She's revealing that, around you, the masks come off. The pressure to impress disappears. And in that moment, you become the sanctuary she didn't know she needed. That level of psychological comfort is the foundation of deep physical intimacy. Because a woman doesn't just give her body to a man, she gives it to the experience she feels with him. And if you've created a space where she can be fully herself, you've created a space where desire becomes inevitable. She might say something like, "I've never felt like this before," and you might be tempted to brush it off, to stay humble, to downplay it. But don't, because that line is a confession. She's telling you that you've triggered something unique in her emotional chemistry, that your presence is unlocking parts of her she didn't know she had. When a woman feels something new, something unfamiliar, something unpredictable, that's when she leans in. Not because it's logical, but because it's alive. You've become the spark. And once a woman feels that emotional fire, her body will start gravitating toward the man who lit it. You're not like the others. This one is often thrown around, but when it comes from a woman who's genuinely invested, it means everything. It's her way of saying you've risen above the noise, that you've shown her something different, something real, something grounded. You didn't fumble her emotions. You didn't play her games. You just stood there in your truth. And that alone was enough to separate you. And when a woman feels like she's found someone rare, she starts treating you differently. She touches you with more intent. She texts you with more warmth. She trusts you with her softness. Because now, you're not replaceable. You're the standard. Then comes the shift, the quiet, intimate line that tells you the night's turning. Can I ask you something kinda personal? That's not a question, it's a door, a transition, a moment where she takes the conversation out of casual and into connection. And what she really wants to know is, can you handle the deeper parts of me? This is the test. If you respond with curiosity, with stillness, with that confident silence that says, I can hold whatever you bring, then she lets you in. And once you're in, once she's seen that you won't flinch, won't fold, won't retreat, she'll give you more than words. She'll give you her. She may say it late at night, over text, or softly while laying beside you. What are you thinking right now? This line on the surface seems innocent, but it's a powerful gauge. She's checking the emotional climate. She wants to know if your mind is on her, if your thoughts match the closeness she's starting to feel, and if your response is grounded. If you express a calm desire, a quiet interest, or even just tell her she's on your mind, that little validation unlocks her. Because it's not about what you say, it's about what you don't say. She's listening to your tone, to your stillness, to whether your energy matches the safety she's starting to crave. And then there's the whisper, the line that's barely audible but says everything, I shouldn't be here. That one is potent. It means she knows what's about to happen. It means her heart's racing. It means she's standing on the edge of surrender, and she needs to know if you'll catch her. This line isn't a request for reassurance. It's a moment of vulnerability wrapped in resistance. And the way you respond, calm, slow, grounded, that determines whether she backs away or leans in. Because at the end of the day, what she wants most isn't just physical release, it's emotional permission to give herself to a man who won't misuse the gift. Sometimes she won't even speak it. She'll just show it with a half smile, a longer pause, or a "you're so annoying," followed by that shy laugh that hides her affection, and you'll think it's sarcasm or flirtation, but that's not what it is. It's her last attempt at keeping her guard up, while everything inside her is collapsing in your direction. Those sarcastic lines, that teasing tone, it's not pushback, it's protection. She's checking if you're solid, or if you'll take the bait and react emotionally. Don't. Stay grounded, stay unbothered, because the man who doesn't need to play along is the one she eventually surrenders to. He's the calm in the chaos, the permission to be weak without fear of being destroyed. Then there's this subtle but dangerous line, I don't know what you're doing to me. And that's when you know she's already gone. She's already imagined you kissing her. She's already played out how your hands would feel, how your presence would feel. This isn't about the next move, this is about how much of her control she's already lost. That line is a confession, a quiet surrender, a nod to the fact that you've disrupted her normal rhythm and now she's trying to make sense of it. But if you try to explain it, define it, or claim victory, you lose the mystery. The man who keeps it vague, keeps it slow, and lets her keep wondering, he becomes the addiction. She might also hit you with something even more revealing. This feels dangerous, not dangerous in a bad way, dangerous because she knows she's emotionally exposed. Her body is telling her yes, but her mind is yelling, be careful. And that tension, that inner conflict, that's the sweet spot where obsession starts. Because she knows she's going against her pattern, her comfort zone, her self-image, and yet she can't stop. If you push, she'll retreat. But if you stay calm, steady, still, you give her the space to cross that bridge herself. And the second she chooses you, not out of pressure, but out of internal pull, that's when she gives you everything. You're so confident. On the surface, it sounds like a simple compliment. But underneath, it's her acknowledging that you're not fazed by her, that you don't seek her approval, that you don't shift your energy based on her mood. And in that, she sees a man she can't control, but wants to surrender to. That's rare. That's what creates obsession. Not because you're aggressive, not because you chase, but because you're unshakable. When she says this, she's really saying, I don't understand why I want you so much, but I do. And once a woman can't explain her attraction, it grows into something bigger than just desire. It becomes need. Another line that slides in so smooth you'll miss it. You always know what to say. It's her way of expressing that you read her without her having to explain. That your intuition is tuned to her frequency. That you know when to be playful, when to be serious, when to lean in, and when to pull back. And when a woman feels like you just get it, she stops guarding herself. Because her biggest fear isn't that you won't want her, it's that you'll misunderstand her. But if you show her without words that you feel her beyond the surface, that's when she melts. That's when the clothes come off. But more importantly, that's when the mask does too. She'll say, I'm not like other girls, and you'll want to roll your eyes, but don't, because that line isn't arrogance, it's insecurity wrapped in a request. She's hoping you'll validate her uniqueness. She's trying to convince herself, and you, that she's worth more than just a hookup. And if you laugh, mock, or dismiss it, she'll retreat. But if you calmly say something like, I didn't think you were, without overplaying it, she'll fall deeper, because now she feels seen. And when a woman feels seen, not for her beauty, but for her individuality, she starts giving you things she's never given anyone else. That's the real unlock. Promise you won't judge me. This line is her last wall, her last test. She's about to tell you something, maybe something dark, something messy, something vulnerable, and she needs to know you can hold space for it. She's not looking for comfort, she's looking for containment. She wants to know that her chaos won't unravel you, that her honesty won't scare you off. And if you pass this moment, if you stay quiet, present, and attentive, you become more than a man. You become her anchor. And when a woman trusts you with her shadows, she starts offering you the light in every form. And that includes the physical. She might say, I'm scared how much I like you. That's not manipulation. That's terror. She's realizing you're starting to matter more than she expected, that you've passed through the flirtation phase and into the part where her feelings aren't optional anymore. And now everything you do affects her. That's scary for a woman who's been hurt. That's terrifying for one who's used to control. But if you reassure her with presence, not promises, if you make her feel that her emotions don't scare you, then she'll trust herself enough to go all the way. Because once a woman feels safe to fall, she falls hard. You make me feel like I don't have to try. That sounds like comfort, but it's actually arousal. Because trying is exhausting. Pretending is exhausting. And most women spend their whole day pretending. Smiling when they don't want to. Agreeing when they'd rather argue. Looking perfect when they feel broken. But your energy makes her relax. And that relaxation, that comfort, it turns into desire. Because once she's dropped the act, she craves connection. She's no longer performing, she's feeling. And a woman who's fully in her feelings is just one whisper away from being completely yours. And finally, the line that seals the deal. What are we doing after this? It's her way of extending the night, of giving you the yes, without saying it directly. She wants you to lead. She wants you to decide. She's handed you the reins. Now she's watching to see what kind of man you are. Will you hesitate? Will you fumble? Or will you step forward with calm certainty? Because if you make her feel like she chose the right man to trust that energy with, the rest unfolds naturally. Not because you chased it, not because you convinced her, but because she felt it. And when a woman feels it, everything else becomes inevitable. She may lean in close, eyes locked, and whisper something that sounds like a question, but feels like an invitation. What are you thinking right now? This isn't small talk. This is her way of checking if you're aligned with her energy. She's scanning for hesitation, for overthinking, for signs that you're not as sure as she is. Because in that moment, her body has already decided. Her emotions are on green, but she's handing you the final test. Not to hear your words, but to feel your energy. If you're calm, focused, and grounded in the present, she drops the rest of her walls. Because now you're not just the man she wants, you're the man she feels safe wanting. Another subtle but telling line: you smell really good. Now, you might think it's just a casual compliment, but this is primal. She's tuning into your essence, your presence, your masculine scent. Women are biologically wired to associate scent with memory, comfort, and arousal. If she's mentioning how you smell, she's subconsciously attaching emotion to your presence. She's already forming bonds you don't see. And when those bonds get strong enough, the desire becomes more than physical. It becomes emotional attachment. That's why it's not about cologne. It's about how you make her feel when you're near. Are you seeing anyone else? That line doesn't mean she's jealous or insecure. It means she's trying to gauge how special she is to you. She's already played the scenario in her mind where she gives herself to you, and now she wants to know, will you value that or will you waste it? If she's asking this, it's because she's emotionally invested. She's considering handing you the key to something most men never get to touch, and if you downplay it or dodge the question, she'll retreat. But if you meet it with honesty, presence, and clarity, without begging, without bragging, she leans in, because now it feels like something real is unfolding. I shouldn't be telling you this is another huge one. When a woman says this, she's about to share something private, intimate, or emotionally loaded. She's testing whether you can handle her truth. And this isn't just about her story, it's about how you hold space for her when she reveals it. Do you get weird? Do you flinch? Do you try to fix it or downplay it? Or do you just listen with stillness, with warmth, with quiet confidence? Because the man who can hold her emotional storm without trying to shut it down, that's the man who earns access to everything else. Her body, her loyalty, her obsession. She may even say something like, "Don't fall in love with me." That's a bold one. That's her way of saying, I know this could go somewhere, and I'm scared. She's already imagining what it would be like to belong to you, to be held by you, to wake up next to you, and it terrifies her. Not because she doesn't want it, but because it's rare. And if you laugh it off, try to be smooth, or turn it into a joke, you'll miss the moment. But if you lock eyes, smile with calm certainty, and say something like, "We'll see what happens," now you've shown her that you're not rushing it. You're letting the fire burn slow, and that's what turns spark into obsession. Another line that carries weight: you're dangerous. She might say it laughing, she might say it whispering, but behind those words is a storm. She feels your energy, your calm, your mystery, and it shakes her, because she knows you don't need her. You're not begging, you're not proving, and that self-sufficiency is intoxicating. Most men chase, most men over-explain, but you lean back, you speak less, you say more with your eyes than with your mouth, and that makes her wonder, what does he want? What is he thinking? When will he make a move? That wondering becomes obsession, because a woman can't stop thinking about a man she can't completely read. You're so hard to read. This is gold. She's trying to pull you closer, to get inside your mind. And if you stay mysterious, not fake, not aloof, but authentically calm and unreadable, she'll lean in harder. Because now it's not just about attraction, it's about curiosity. And curiosity is the gateway to obsession. You don't give her the full map. You don't give her the plan. You let her feel you out bit by bit. You let her earn access to your layers. And in doing so, you flip the script. You're not trying to get her. She's trying to figure you out. And that's when the game changes. I usually don't do this. When she says this, she's handing you the truth. She's about to go against her own rules. Maybe she slept with men too soon in the past and regretted it. Maybe she's built walls because she's been hurt. But now, with you, she's considering breaking her own boundaries. And that's not because of how you look. It's not your money. It's not your words. It's your energy. Your presence made her feel something no checklist ever could. And now, she's willing to take the risk. Not because you convinced her, but because she feels safe losing control around you. That's the switch. That's the real moment of surrender. Then there's silence. No lines. No words. Just her looking at you differently. The room slows down. Her breath gets lighter. She adjusts her body language, leans closer, tilts her head, plays with her necklace or hair. These are the moments when words become unnecessary. You've already passed the tests. You've already opened her up emotionally. And now, everything else is just timing. This is where your energy matters more than ever. You don't push. You don't force. You let her come to you. Because a woman who chooses to give herself fully, consciously, without pressure, is a woman who stays longer and feels deeper. And finally, when she looks you in the eyes and says nothing but doesn't look away, that's the loudest signal she can send. That moment of shared stillness, of tension, of electric silence, that's the final yes. You don't need permission. You don't need to ask. You just need to feel it. Because when a woman has emotionally and mentally undressed in front of you, the physical is already done in her mind. She's already yours. All that's left is for you to lead. And when you lead, not with lust, but with grounded presence. When you touch her like you're guiding her into peace, not possession, that's when obsession begins. Not from how hard you chased, but from how calmly you received her.